We are doing today Advanced Excel. And actually today is our very first class of Advanced Excel. I've been teaching you guys Power BI, all right, for some time now. So I would want to take just a little break from Power BI for us to be able to introduce what we call Advanced Excel. And really Advanced Excel and Power BI are very, very much intertwined. Yeah, there are concepts once you are good at Advanced Excel, you'll always shine in the Power BI. So I'll be interchanging these sessions. At times I'm teaching Power BI, at times I'm teaching Advanced Excel. All in all, geared towards what year you becoming great people in terms of data analytics. Are you able to hear what Mwalimu is saying? There's a ninja complaining that Mwalimu, we can't hear you. Is there anybody who is able to hear what Mwalimu is saying? Because from my side, I can see the signal is very good. The signal is very good. Yeah. So maybe Robert, I don't know, will advise him. He needs to get out of Zoom and then he comes back. He gets out of Zoom and then he comes back. Yeah, with sound. Very, very good. And of course, as I begin, it will be very important for me to thank the online followers, starting with my students here who are joining me in Zoom. I have students who are joining me through YouTube, Facebook. Don't forget to do that most important thing to Mwalimu. If you're on YouTube, Joshua Aura, and ensure that you're subscribing. If you're on Facebook, you're following my page. That will really, really add lots of value to Mwalimu. Great. So then I would want to start by sharing the Excel workbook that I'll be using throughout. So throughout this course, I'll be using this Excel workbook, which I normally call RCM Excel Final Workbook. So please keep that workbook safe with you. Every time we have an Excel class, you must always have it by your side. You must always have it by your side. Always you shall have it. Always you shall have it. It's a huge one. It has more than 15 worksheets. So by the time we clear working on those 15 worksheets, then that will be the end of the course. That will be the end of the course. So have you guys been able to see what I've shared with you there? Have you been able to see what I've shared with you there? If you've been able to see what I've shared with you there, I'm making, in this case here, a humble request that you download it, save it on your machine, and then if possible, push it through our WhatsApp. Yeah, go to the WhatsApp paid group and paste it there. Go to our WhatsApp paid group or whichever group, paste it there. Paste it there. And once you do like that, kindly put your thumbs up and then we continue. Put your thumbs up and then we continue. Now, if you look at, for example, the students who are doing this business data analytics, the exit paper. This exit paper, over 50% of the students fail this BDA exit paper, not once, not twice, even at times thrice. A student in this case here failing in one paper called business data analytics 3 times. Why do we have such a high failure rate in BDA and yet it is the easiest paper? It's because of poor mastery of Excel skills. Very many accounting students don't take Excel so seriously from the time when they begin their CPA. If we would want, in this case here, to have an easy time with BDA, which is an exit paper there, I've seen people are really mark timing with BDA. If you want to have an easy time with BDA, by the time you join your foundations level, ensure that you enroll into some Excel classes and ensure that you buy a laptop. Because Excel is just like driving. If you go to a driving school, you're driving, and then you don't have a car of your own to keep on practicing, then automatically you can't get that required confidence to be on the road. So Excel needs lots of practice. Once you get into foundations level, join an advanced Excel class like our classes at RCM, and then ensure that you buy a laptop that you shall be using consistently now. All right. So I'm waiting to get thumbs up. I'm getting to get thumbs up. Yeah, so you can get it now from the WhatsApp group, which is very, very good. So please, the students who are in the intermediate level and they have not done advanced Excel, you are quite late. Yeah, because you really need a lot of proficiency in terms of handling what year, financial reports like group consolidation using Excel. Those guys will really slaughter you. I get so many students. Like a student who called me after this BDA paper. They told me that this BDA paper had got IRR. Very, very many easy things. But Mwalimu were not able to complete the paper because of what? Purely speed. And why do you think are they slow? First of all, they are not good in Excel. They're not good in Excel. Not yet sent, not yet sent. But you can as well download it from here. You can as well download it from here yourself. Why don't you get it from here yourselves? Why don't you get it from here yourself? You don't need to get somebody to put it there for you. You can as well pick it from here. Yeah. Zoom on. Okay. So have you been able to see? I've again attached it here. I've again attached it here. Kindly let me know whether you have now been able to see it. That will act like our Bible. It's an Excel workbook with many sheets. We'll be turning over those sheets like this and doing lots of work, with them. So then now have we been able to get that thing? Do we have access to this workbook, all of us, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, now Christabel says yes. Christabel says yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, now we have it. And if possible, please, to avoid those issues where students will come to this Zoom class, every time they're asking for the workbook, please just take it upon yourself and share it on WhatsApp. That would be so nice for you. Now, topic number 1. I can't access it, please. Yeah, to avoid such kind of questions, please, if somebody can send it to the WhatsApp, I will really be very, very happy. Thank you, admin. I will really be very, very happy if somebody can just send it there to avoid those kind of back and forth, like I can't get. Yeah. So then, what is the objective of this class? The objective of this first class is to teach you great accountants how to summarize data. We know that we will be given huge files coming from these companies here every other day, and we shall be required here to draw insights to be able to get some meaning out of that big data. So then how do we draw those insights that can be used for purposes of what here? For purposes of making decisions. There is no way you will tell me that you are a great accountant if you do not know how to work with the pivot tables. So the first thing that I would want to teach you in this very first introductory class is how to work with pivot tables. Pivot is P-I-V-O-T. P-I-V-O-T, pivot. So when you talk of pivot tables, you simply remember that these are dashboards. If you're taking the notes there, pivot tables are what here? They're dashboards. These are dashboards. They're dashboards like that. Now it's supposed to be a single O, sorry for that. So it's just dashboards. So if you look at, for example, ladies and gentlemen, the dashboard of your vehicle. So there is no way you'll be able to move quite easily if, for example, your vehicle lacked a dashboard. Because you can't, for example, be able to see the fuel gauge. How will you move? You'll not be able to even know the speed at which you are cruising on this road. You could easily be doing 180 kilometers per hour and you do not know that you are at that kind of a high speed simply because you don't have what here? You don't have a dashboard. So a dashboard basically is a summary of all your transactions here. Put on one screen which will be able to do what here tomorrow? To monitor. So by the end of this session, every student, I call them ninjas, they should be able to know how to create these dashboards in Excel. Then how do we create these dashboards? So now I would want us to open this particular Excel sheet that we have, ladies and gentlemen, the one that is called RCM Excel. So now we are opening it up. Yeah, RCM Excel final workbook. Now, once you open it, my great students, I would want you straight away to go to, once you open it, ladies and gentlemen, I would want you to look at, let me just take this here. Great. So if you keep on scrolling, you see like now, if you keep on scrolling here, if you keep on scrolling here, you'll be able to go through your pages. We call them workbook, not workbook, but worksheets. Call them worksheets. You know, the book is this one here. This is the book, the whole of it. And now this book, I can just go through the pages like slowly. So I can see next page data. I can see like that. I can see pivot table 1, but I want this pivot table 2. Today I would want to start with pivot table 2. So please open the worksheet called pivot table 2. You simply click on it. So when you click on this pivot table 2, what are we able to see if I'm to zoom in for you? What am I able to see, ladies and gentlemen? I'm able to see great things here. I've been given huge data. Why am I calling this huge data? If I come and put my cursor anywhere, just anywhere here, if I put my cursor on top there, and then I use control down arrow, I'm using control and the down arrow. I'm so sure all of us in our machines there, we can very easily see what here? We can very easily see control. All of us, are we able to see control? Yeah, I've stopped sharing, yes, for me to be able to communicate something here. Are you able to see control? Control like that. Are you able to see control? Oh, sorry. Are you able to see control? Control like this. So we must be able to see control, all of us. Control, just on your left down here. Control is very, very key. And then now we have what we call the navigation keys. We have the navigation keys. We call them navigation keys. How many of them are they? These navigation keys are normally 4. They come in form of arrows. We have an arrow pointing north, south, west, east. There are 4. They're on your right side. Those 4 navigation arrows. So then I would want us now to use control, and then we have the down arrow. So I'll press on control and hold on to control permanently. I'll press it and hold onto this control permanently, and then I'll be able to hit this down arrow just once. So I get back to sharing my screen. All right. So then the first thing that I've done, just anywhere, I've been able to click on top. You can see where my cursor is. I've been able to click on top here. And then now I'm pressing control with the down arrow. When I press control with the down arrow, it takes me to the very last row of the table. The very last row of the table is row number 15,121. You can see row number 15,000. I mean, this data is huge. From row number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100, 101, 102, 200. You're even getting tired before you reach, you hit 1,000. From there, you move it up. 1,000 to 2,000. You move it up to 15,000. So this is what we call big data. A very good example of what we call big data, because big data will be taught later on in data analytics that we have what we call 5 V's. 5 V's. We have what we call 5 V's. 5 V's. So these 5 V's of big data, the characteristics of big data, one of them is volume. Volume means what here? Lots of data. Lots of data. Lots of data. I don't know how you got the 1 million. You're talking of the very last one. No, I'm talking of the last. You haven't followed my instructions very well. I'm talking of the last row of the table, not of the Excel, the last row of the table. The last row of my table here is taking me to this 15,121. I'm not talking of the last row of the entire Excel. No, no. So then let's go back. How do we go back? How do we go back? Very easy. Control. Now I'm pressing the up arrow. I can also use the home arrow to get home. No problem. I just want to show you first of all how to navigate using. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is big data. When I look at this big data, I can see here type, product group. I can see producer, I can see code, I can see volume, I can see unit cost, I can see unit price. This data is very irrelevant the way it is. If you're told to present this data to your directors or your stakeholders in an annual general meeting, the way it is, you can't be able to draw any insights, nothing. You can't help those people to make what here any decisions. It can only make sense if out of these 15,000 rows, you are able to summarize them. And we summarize this by using what we call dashboards, summaries. How do we summarize this, ladies and gentlemen? Very, very easy. If you give me your ears very, very well, I'll be able to show you something that will make you survive all these interviews as a CFO, So whenever you are making, in this case here, a pivot table, you must write your own notes. Number one, you start by selecting any cell within your table. You select any cell within your table to come up with a pivot summary table. You go anywhere. It can be even this here. Anywhere. Then you select any cell by clicking inside. You click inside. That is step number one of coming up with a summary. You click anywhere inside. Once you do that, step number two, you go to your ribbon. You know, we call this one here ribbon. You go to the insert. So step number two, go to the insert ribbon. So you click the insert ribbon. Click it. That's how you write your notes. You click the insert ribbon. When you click the insert ribbon, you can see a few pop-ups. And the very first pop-up icon is the pivot table. So once you click insert, then once you see this pivot table, recommended pivot tables are for the lazy ninjas. Hardworking ninja, that is you and I, we shall always click this. So go ahead and click the pivot table. Just once. Once you click this pivot table, what are we seeing? We are seeing some pop-up thing. And this pop-up is normally irrelevant because you're supposed to simply say, okay. Yeah, it is basically asking us, do you want a new worksheet for this pivot, or do you want to place this thing in the existing? If you want, you can change here and say existing, but where is space? For us as accountants, we shall always take our pivot tables to new pages. So basically, this pop-up window is as irrelevant as main. You simply come and say, okay, always. So when you say, okay, then what are you able to see? You are able to see here, we have pivot table. To build a report, choose fields from the pivot table field list. So we have the pivot table, what here? Fields. The fields for us, ladies and gentlemen, are the column titles. I repeat, the fields for us are the column titles. The fields for us are the column titles. These titles you saw here, type, product, producer, code, volume. These are the fields. Fields are our columns. I repeat that fields are what here? Fields are our columns. So then what do we want, ladies and gentlemen? What I would want, for example, if I'm the one who is doing this presentation, I know these people will be interested in volumes. They may not want to know who is the producer. They're interested in the volumes, what has been sold. So this volume is what is to be evaluated. So volume is what you bring to values. So you drag it down. So this volume, the volume that you are seeing here, this volume that you're seeing here is the one that I will come here, hold my pad down to make it active. And then now using the other finger, now I'm dragging it down. I drag it down to this particular, there are 4 areas. I drag this down to the values like that. So I would want to know at this juncture whether there is anybody who has been able to do exactly what Mwalimu has done and they have been able to see count of volume. Yeah. Is there anybody who could have reached where Mwalimu has reached? Yeah. You see the drag, for example, if you have a mouse, if you come and just click on that volume and then you just, with the left click, you drag down, you drag down. All right. So I would really encourage all of you to buy these mouses. Are very, very important. They are very, very important. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen. If you are correct, I'll be able to repeat, please. Listen here. If you are correct, then the count of volume should be this number of rows, 15,100 what here, 18. But I don't want the rows being counted for me. That's again nothing. What I wanted is the sum of the quantity. If you are keen enough, a very keen student, under this count of volume, they'll be able to see a drop down. You'll be able to see a drop down arrow. Click on it. When you click on this drop down arrow nicely, what are you seeing? You can see we have the value field settings. If you don't like it, you can remove it. It is this value field settings I want you to click on. Please click on the value field settings. Click it up. When you click it up, then you are able to see. I would want you to stop doing whatever you are doing. Please stop doing whatever you are doing and give me your eyes. Give me your eyes only. Please give me your eyes only. Give me your eyes only. I'll be able to repeat everything. Just look at what I'm doing. Look at what, just within 10 minutes, I'll be able to finish what I'm doing. And then I'll be able to come back and then we do it together. We do it together. I want you to love this because the first thing with Excel is the love that you give it. You must love this. So in this case here, ladies and gentlemen, here I don't want count, I want sum. So I click there and then I'll be able to say, okay. So when I say, okay, I can see the total sum. It's like this. Now this sum, ladies and gentlemen, is for a number of years. So I would want you to break this down into years and nobody is doing anything. You're only giving me your ears. So your eyes and ears. So ladies and gentlemen, I can see I have the ear. So ears normally are taken to columns, remember, in accounting. Ears are normally taken to columns. So you can see sum of volume, 2011, 2012, 2013. Now you can see here, in this case here, you can see it was 5 million, 5.3, 5.6. I can see now I'm trying to get insights that every year these guys are experiencing what here? Growth. They're experiencing growth. Remember, our grand total here is like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please, I want this producer group to be my rows because I want my product here. So come and put this producer group here. What is happening? Crazy things are happening here. Crazy things are happening here, ladies and gentlemen. You can see now I have all the types of products from the 15,000 rows. I know I have alcohol, and the alcohol now I can see the trend was 222. It became 315. The 2013 went to 384. Great. 2014 went down. So as I call upon the manager of our alcohol section to give me a response why the sales was going down, this ninja will come straight out and they tell me, you director, Aura here, 2014 is only for 6 months. You can't see that. And then I'll be able to tap them from behind, from the back and tell them, hey, You've done a nice job. Because if 6 months you sold 294, it means now 12 months will be over 500,000. This is a good trend. This is a good trend. And I can see also vegetables, what is happening, ladies and gentlemen. But it doesn't stop there. There is no way you'll be able to work with this kind of just a table without giving us what we call a pivot chart. So then once I reach here, I'll be able to come here and the pivot analyze. We have what we call pivot chart. So this pivot chart, I just click on it once and then I say, okay, yeah. And then now, once I reach here, I'll be able to carry this by the side here, by the side here. I can even now even have this collapsing, right? And then I'll be able to take this here, like that. Ladies and gentlemen, the good thing with this pivot charts, I'm able to see some insights here. For example, I can see that coffee, is the one that is doing wonders here. Coffee is the one that is doing wonders. You can even see from the figures here, 1 million, 2 million. Coffee. So when I'm doing any kind of talk within my company to motivate the other departments, I'll always be taking coffee to be the benchmark for this organization. I would want the coffee managers to even address the colleagues. What are they doing? All right. All right. And then now, of course, as I'm comparing, then I'll come and do what we call filtering. So product group. So for example, when I'm benchmarking, I will come and unselect all of them. I'm comparing now. I will come and tell alcohol people, you guys, versus coffee people. You guys are a dwarf. So you can see everything in this case here has disappeared. Now we are left with the alcohol and what here? Coffee. And coincidentally, pivot tables are very, very sensitive. You can also see here, the table itself has been collapsed to only alcohol and what here? Coffee. Yeah. So over time, you can see what happened here, alcohol 2011. You can see it was, the trend was doing nicely, nicely, nicely. Not as nice as coffee, but at least it was growing, and then it went down. And I know why in 2014 it went down. It's because 2014 is only for 6 months. Coffee is up there. So this filter, I can come here again. So for example, I may want to compare bread. Yeah, I'm now showing these guys that you guys see how coffee is taller than you. You need to do something. So you can see bread products, it's almost a decimal here. So they need to tell us exactly what do they need to do to be able to push, what kind of support they need from management to be able to push their sales high. And then of course, they can draw some insights from who? From the coffee people, Ladies and gentlemen, I would now want to go back and pick all of you in terms of doing this. So the first thing that I will do, I would want in this case here to delete. I can just delete this sheet alone. I can leave this sheet alone. Yeah. Great. And then I start from scratch. And before I start from scratch, I can see in this case here, there are comments here. There are comments. Thank you very much, Tabi. Thank you very much, Dennis. Yeah, keep on telling them to check what's up and encourage all of them to join our Excel class. I can see as of this evening, we had about 80 students doing Excel with us. Let me check again. I train up to 500 over December. And these Excel classes are a game changer. The Excel classes are a game changer. Trust you me. I've seen Excel classes taking people to places. December 2020. Yeah, now we are 79. It's quite a small number. So I would want to invite all the students who are here to join this Excel, because Excel is the basis of all these other software. You will get, like, for example, SAP data being drawn to Excel for purpose of coming up with what are these kind of dashboards. So Excel is a huge thing. Hey, you accountants who are here, do you recognize the importance of Excel at the workplace? Is there somebody who knows that Excel is really, really important? It's like you guys do not know. So Anyole wants this to be sent to his number. Please help him. Very important, you'll be surprised. You can't make any great moves without knowing Excel. So mwalimu, this is the data. And with this data, what are we doing? We've said, once you're given this kind of data, the first thing you need to do is to go anywhere within your, it's going to be on the dates, anywhere within your table, click there, select any cell anywhere inside your table, and then come and insert. What are we inserting? Inserting a pivot table. Inserting a pivot table. Once you say insert a pivot table, you can see there is what here? There is a pop-up window here. So this pop-up window, you'll be able to say, okay. So once you say, okay, then you have what we call a canvas. This is a canvas. Our dashboard will be coming here. And then we have, in this case, ladies and gentlemen, we have these things here. Like I know year will always be dragged to columns. Always, whenever I see year, I will always drag this to columns and I can see now my 3 years. Right? And if there are any products will always go to the rows like that. Great. And then now we come and populate this with the values. What values do I need? I need volume. I need volume. So these will go to the value because this is what I want. When I say value there, I can see this count of volume. We always want sum of volume. We always want sum of volume. So there is a drop down here. So this drop down like that. And then you say value field settings. And then you come and say sum like that. And then you say, okay. Once you do that, then straight away come and say pivot charts. Please, you say pivot charts. Once you say pivot charts, you simply come and say, okay. Then you are at home. Collapse this area. Once you're finished, because you would want all that data to fit onto just one window. One window. So collapse this area, bring this one here like that. All right. All right. And then now, ladies and gentlemen, once you are here, now you can play around with your slicers and dicers. Nowadays, you don't need that slicer. You can use this pivot charts to slice and dice. So you'll come and say, for example, you unselect all of them. You select whatever you want, like that. So it shows. You can also come and take 2 years. So for example, like unselect all, you take 2012, 2013, then that is it. Okay, great. So is there anybody now who has been able to do, you can see again, this table is really behaving. It's behaving, yes. So is there anybody who has been able to do exactly what Mwalimu has done? Yeah, the filters, like now what I've done is filtering. You know, these pivots, they're also doing what here? They are also changing quite a lot. Like initially we used to put things under filters. Nowadays, so long as you have that pivot chart, you can use it now to filter. You don't need to create those filters you used to create. Although if you want very, very advanced dashboards, you can still, but for an accountant, what you need, it is that pivot chart. Once you have the pivot chart, you'll be able to filter whatever. You don't even need those slicers anymore. Once they developed this pivot chart and they connected with the pivot table, it gave us a very, very big solution. A very, very big solution. A very big solution. Where I did the sum, then I'll be able again to repeat. I'll repeat, I will repeat, I will repeat. But before I repeat, is there any student who has been able to finish everything up to where Mwalimu is? It's always good to get that feedback. I know why. Hello says yes. Activate. Yes. Great. Rows and columns. No problem. I'll be able to answer that, Patrick. Great. I finished. Great. So then what I'll do, I will repeat slowly. I don't want to have so many sheets. I will have to delete this. Yeah. So we will come here and please ensure that you enroll for our Excel classes. December, we are doing great things. If you want to enroll for these Excel classes, we're charging a modest fees of 2,500 for RCM students. Non-RCM students, we punish them a little bit for, studying out there. They need to be RCM. to get these advantages. So non-RSM students, we charge them 3,500. Please call or WhatsApp our school number 0719 525 000. 0719 525 000. All right. So then I'm here. First step, click right hand side here. Come here and insert. Don't insert recommended, but pivot table. And then you say, okay. So how do you make this active? It's very easy. You simply come like now, you can see I'm here. Now using your mouse, you simply left click and then don't release the left click. You carry it through. Or if you're using your pad, touchpad as your mouse, what you do, you'll come here with the left hand, then simply click with your left hand. And then now using one of your fingers on the right hand, you move. So now you can move this, they are moving. So the ear, of course, I'll drop the ear and that collapse. Hope Patrick are able to do that. Products. So products, where do I take products? Where do I take products? So product group, come and take the product group to the house, like that. So using the left finger, you're holding onto your mouse pad, and then you're using the other hand to move. Yeah, but the best is to buy a mouse. And then now we have volume. So this volume is what you drag down to the values. Somebody asked about how do you change this count to sum? Very easy. There is an arrow here, drop down arrow. So you click on it, and then you go to value field settings. Value field settings. Then, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be able to change it to sum. And you say, okay. Once you do that, straight away, I know where to go. Even this thing is very, very bright. It has known what you need to do here is to analyze now the pivot. It has taken you to analyze pivot. So come and give me the pivot chart. When you click the pivot chart, you can select the chart that you want, but mostly I don't even, it will give you, whatever it gives you, it's good enough. Whatever it gives you is good enough. So simply come and say, okay, collapse this to enable this now fit in, like that. And then now we have this like that. And from there, you can play around with your dissections. So you can dissect, you can come and select it. You go for alcohol, beverages. Okay. Like that. You come to the year and select all 2012, 2013. You say, okay. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, with whatever I've done, it's good enough now. You guys, now you have a base for these pivots, and I would want to see you guys doing your own work. Like at your workplace, you have a lot of data. You could be having, for example, employees. You have their salaries, so many things over years. I would want to see you how you get to pivot. Remember, again, pivot is all about your creativity. You keep on trying. If I put this in the rows, if I put this in the columns, if I put both, for example, in the rows, what will happen? The more you keep on trying, the more proficient you become in these pivots, in the pivots. Yeah, the Excel that I'm using, somebody should be able to help me share. All right. Then remember, ladies and gentlemen, that we are using all of us Excel minimum 2021. Excel, the minimum version should be 2021. Yeah, if you have the capacity, you can buy the Office 365, but all of us should have at the bare minimum Excel 2021, because I can see like what Patrick has here is an old Excel, perhaps 2010. I'm also sure. So that one I can't help. Then I give you some homework. All of you have to do this homework. These are projects. We do this course through projects. So we have here pivot table 1. Pivot table 1, you can see what I have here. Pivot table 1, I have employees, employee number, employee, divisions, department, date of hire, hours, hour rate, gross pay, and then status, full-time, etc. I would want you to go and play around with this. And then you get to see, out of your creativity, who will be able to give us the very best dashboards. So this company payroll, this is your own work. Please ensure that your dashboard has the pivot table, it has a pivot chart, and then you shall be able to reward that student will be able to have, something that will be able to help us make what year decisions. Is that okay, ladies and gentlemen? So, and please, any student who is following me on YouTube, give me a thumbs up and ensure you are subscribing. That will really draw so many people to RCM, the very best college in terms of CPA, data analytics, in terms of CFA, etc. And any student who wants to join us, of course, our number is 0719 525 000. 0719 525 000. Great. Yeah, Patrick, I'm so sure it's, I've seen already what you have there. I'm so sure it's the Excel that you have. It is the Excel that you have. All right. Great, 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 great. And then, of course, don't forget that now the government of Kenya is giving all CASNEB registered students are now able to take up what we call the CASNEB HELB loans. So don't postpone your studies because of lack of finances. Even if you had a loan at the undergraduate level, this loan doesn't look at what is happening with you at HELB. Even if you are defaulted a little bit, they'll be able to look the other way because the government wants to produce as many accountants as possible. So in this case, those HELB loans are available to students who study at RCM. So please take advantage of them by calling our number 0719